off the production line for Supernatural Strength merchandise is the iconic Deep, Deep, Deep Inside shirt. Ladies and gents, get out there and get your merch. Links in the description, copy and paste it into your browser. Feel the love, motherfuckers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that the record button hadn't been hit just in time to hear the White Oak breaking all his fingers. Was that you? That was some loud ass, you know when you give it the scary times. But he's still alive, ladies and gents. It's the White Oak, Paul Linn. Check them out for arms. Tell you what, I don't think Micah Yellow's going to be too pleased with his tan, but we're not bothered about that, and you can see that Ray is already sporting the promo of the White Oak behind him. Tell me that isn't your character, mate. That is who you are. There's no doubt about it. In Latvia, we've got the man with the nicest hair in the sport of arm wrestling. It's Raimonds Liepins. Is that Dubai there, son? Where we're looking at there?
No, that's Brisbane.
That's Brisbane.
Oh!
The mighty Brisbane.
There it is.
Source.
I need the source.
Yeah, I thought I could feel a bit twitchy down there. Lovely. Now then, last but by no means least, yes, I'm sure a lot of the ladies think that Justin Timberlake's dyed his hair ginger. But no, it's Ryan Bowen. How you doing, son?
Yeah, I'm very well. Is Justin Timberlake, I swear I've seen him look half ginger sometimes, isn't he?
Come on, get the out of dog. I don't
know. I'm just look at that. I can't deny it. Look, I'm just saying what the people are saying to me. That I look a bit like Justin Timberlake these days.
Oh mate, that's awesome. That's my favourite line. Tell you what, Ryan, that's brilliant. You are now Ginger Lake forever. Absolutely. So, guys, in the 2 minutes since the last time we shot one of these shows, many things will have happened from a viewer's perspective. We will now know who is the overall number one in Australia. We will know what happened between Monster Michael Todd and Travis the Beast Bajan. Let's start there. Paul Linn. Pick it up, son. What are we doing here? Is that even real?
Since it's just been announced, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but I haven't seen Travis physically in a while, but this could be more of a promotional thing. Could be.
Well, remember, it already happened, so you can talk about it.
Yeah. This could have been a promotional thing, and the fact that, there was a lot of whatever is about to or has happened, it all makes sense now. So,
God bless him.
I don't know.
God bless him. Well, I haven't actually caught up on the show yet that all came out on, but I'm assuming it was Beauty and the Beast or something like that. I need to check it back.
Yeah, there's a good summary on Michael's channel. He put it all together. Travis's trash talk and how he kind of called out Michael and Michael's response. I think Michael called him. Michael said, "It's like I was getting ready for LeVan, who was like Michael Jordan. Then it became Devin Larratt, it was like LeBron, but then now it's the Water Boy. Now it's the Water Boy calling me up for a match." So
yeah, Travis is going to love that. That's going to take
That's why the Instagram post with the Water Boy Bajan.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Mate, some of the stuff that some of the guys that are out there, and you may love the Troll Army, you may hate the Troll Army. I kind of can love the Troll Army. So I do. And some of the stuff that gets put out, some of the memes and that get put out these days are funny.
Like a year ago, it was like we had one guy or maybe two guys in the arm wrestling community that would put out quality memes, and they'd pop up every now and then, and it was always it was fun. And now there's freaking 50 memes that'll come out a day almost.
Every day. It's ridiculous. And I feel bad for Engin. Good mate of mine is Engin, and he takes it very, very personally. Look at that board for zinc. That is absolute class, isn't it? I love board for zinc.
Oh, geez. Yeah, look at
this. Look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolute quality.
Oh, yeah. No.
Mate, did you guys look at that, Rocky Barbosa? Did you see the meme that came out with Engin as a cat talking about the level that Devon had gone to?
No.
Mate, I was crying with laughter at that. And I love Engin. I was gutted for him, but that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, respects to Marvellous. Look at that.
Michael
Tyson.
It is about how hard you pin. It's about how hard you can get pinned and keep moving forward. More.
Oh,
absolute class. Hey, so how many is there now?
Oh my goodness.
There's honestly, it's somewhere up around 200, I think.
I've noticed that Herpes Gasparini's massively. He's everywhere. I've seen Herpes Gasparini all over the place. Devon going, that's good, isn't it? Some of these are quality.
Michael Todd calcified bone, yes. Devon Saplenkov was the original, and he kicked it all. Devon Saplenkov, and he's still the first person to comment on it.
After every 2 minutes.
They've got to be just pullers that had an account and they've just made loads more. They've got to.
Can we pause and like really thank them, because they are commenting on everything, and that feeds the algorithm. So like the people who want to hate on them or get upset about a meme or something, if you got a channel and you don't like these guys, they're commenting on everything. And they are feeding the algorithm, and stuff is exploding because of it. And even if it's like one guy with a bot or something and it's auto doing things, who knows? It could be. But they are feeding all of our content.
Yeah.
Hey, it's got to be. There's definitely real people behind them, because I've had fun with some of them. I like bantering, so I've taken the piss with some of these guys, and it's funny as you can get backwards and forwards banter going. Sometimes I'll be out for a walk or something, and one of them's commented on something, usually having a laugh, and it's a Engin go big. Oh. That's great. Todd. That's one of the best, isn't it? Todd's absolute class. Look at that. Brilliant, mate.
They're making compilations, and they like every time I see some videos, it's like, oh my god, Oleg Zhok's right arm.
Oh yeah, and it's tiny, isn't it? Just little brilliant.
Arm Wild TV. Wild TV.
You wonder where it's going to stop, because is it going to be a
Please don't.
Is it the norm? Is it the thing? Are you going to start seeing these come out for years and years? You never do know, ladies and gents.
At some point, we're going to greet someone like, yo, Todd, what's up?
Well, that's the thing. How many of them is one guy?
I don't know. But like you said, they've all got personality, and they all match their meme quite well. They represent their little meme in the way that they comment and that. So it's people. It's people. I know.
I love Michael Scott's calcified bone. That's my favorite.
Oh, some good stuff. There is some absolute quality stuff. There's no doubt about it. But the Troll Army, as Paul said, they're everywhere and anywhere at the moment. So there's a lot of comments coming in from them. It does feed the algorithm. So roll on, mother fluffers. Yeah. Now then, let's talk about some of the opportunities going forward in terms of when we can get some big matches out there. There's a lot of talk about who should be matched up with who should be facing who, and who should go where. But one of the key questions that we've been getting to the channel, to the email channel, for those of you out there that don't know the channel email where you can send some questions, just to give you that one more time, it's simply supernaturalstrengthchannel@gmail.com. That's supernaturalstrengthchannel@gmail.com. So you can send questions there, and we will bring them onto the fix, as long as there's stuff we can talk about, because we get some good ones. But one of the questions that's been coming through consistently tends to be around Hermes Gasparini. Can Hermes Gasparini beat this guy? We also see it in the comments on the channel itself as well. everybody's got a bit of a buzz on around Hermes Gasparini right now. Now,
Igor now is in Italy, meeting up with Hermes Gasparini.
I believe so. And obviously, a few weeks back, we got the information out there about the fact that Matt Mask is going to be pulling Hermes. I've got Matt Mask on live shows. We're going to be getting a lot from Matt on that as well. Probably actually will have done the first live show with Matt when this show comes out. But what I wanted to just focus on, guys, is Matt's taking it extremely seriously, as you would, because Hermes is a very, very significant arm wrestler. Do you think that Hermes' level has changed dramatically from where it was before? Or do you think that people are just, it's sort of the buzz of the moment? What are your opinions on that?
I think Hermes is a level up from where he was in Matt. Just physically, I don't know what his weight. I don't know what his weight was when he pulled Matt the first time, but he's 115 kilos now. Looks like he's made of granite. And so I think that, he is a chapter up, but that still doesn't mean to me that Matt Mask is out of the match. But I do think Hermes is a chapter up from where he was.
Me too. I think Hermes was like, after he got surgeries and everything else and getting back and like, he didn't came back and didn't do competition with, someone just testing himself. He went to competition where there was Krasimir, Plum and Dimitrov, all those guys, start pulling with them and see how he ended up. And, I think it was just down the road. I think he's strong. I think he is like one of the most beautiful top rollers we have seen. Like some of his match, like I could watch him and Michael pull all day because that match was so crazy. Hermes was
the Italian super match.
Yeah.
So good at controlling his elbow, the hand, the center, everything. Like so, it's. I want to see the rematch if they make the rematch. Of course, why wouldn't we? That's a good two top rollers. How it end up? I just don't want it to be 1 second match like it was before. I want to see war at least. But Hermes looks very good. Like he didn't have the the COVID blues. He was like, I'm training. He posting all the training videos. He looks really like swole, strong. Like what he showed on table with Vitaly. Doesn't matter. Vitaly can just, been drinking for 3 days. He should still be able to, destroy most of the people in the world. And he showed how good he is. That's my opinion. So I'm excited to see whatever he does. Don't care.
Yeah, he certainly, he has been for a long period of time. When we had in the presence of greatness, and one of the comments Michael made, I agree with massively. He said, people are getting carried away about Hermes right now. Hermes always been a bad dude, and he has. Hermes from arm wrestling lineage. His dad, Massimo Gasparini. If you're watching Massimo, how you doing, brother? A guy I knew very well back in the day, very solid puller, big, thick hands, thick joints, big blacksmith-looking dude. But Massimo was a very, very strong lad, just a naturally genetically powerful lad, and obviously Hermes is that level up from his dad. And I was speaking to Hermes the other day. He's going to come on in the presence of greatness, probably come on there with his sister as a translator, which will be nice to get some of his feedback on there as well, and possibly do a deep inside with him. But we've had a lot of questions relating to him, and I want to reel those off a little bit. First, we didn't go to Paul. Sorry, mate. You'll need a slap. We didn't go to Paul on your thoughts about the match. Excuse me, mate.
Well, who's putting the match on? Because
we don't know yet. Don't know.
Okay, so I think that's a big factor. The rule set, the refereeing, and not to say that.
I think it's going to be PL. I think
what you were saying, maybe that's the one that they're just out there trying to.
Yeah.
Either with him or Gennady, because little interrupt because they've been making, these posts and things like that. And, we talked with Igor and he said, Hermes looks very impressive. And I don't know what is Gennady doing. If Gennady is coming from WAF, from being Federation president to PL, he needs to get in and they might create some kind of gates to get in top 8. And that might be the gate, one of them. So. Sorry, Paul. Go.
No, good. That's good information, stuff I didn't know. But yeah, I think the rule set's going to come into play. I don't think that in any way, shape, or form, using PAL rule set is going to write Matt off. But I think it's probably, with regard to Ermey's level, his age, and he's clearly leveling up. He's clearly stronger now than he was then, I think. That's probably just based on age and maturity and his work ethic and everything. But I feel like the rule set and his level right now probably puts him at the favorite, but it's really hard to go against Matt, especially if he's motivated. So I can't wait to see it. I can't pick it though.
Matt's for me.
Prospect, isn't he?
Yeah, Matt's for me always been one of those guys, kind of like Jerry, that I think the world doesn't realize or give him enough credit for how much of a badass he genuinely is. And I think on his day, he's a threat to almost anyone in the world. Like, I really do. I think that Matt's a big enough guy. When I stand stood next to him in the hallway, I'm like, holy shit, this is a big dude. Like, and so to have the levers that he's got, the hand that he's got, and the aggression off center, if Matt gets the hit timed right, man, it's not going to be easy to contain him. And I mean, he's proven that, even though he's struggled with Devin, he's always been so friggin' close to Devin. He's pinned Devin before, but just hasn't won those matches or whatever. And yeah, so I think that anyone who thinks Hermes is just going to roll through Matt is kidding themselves, and they'll, yeah.
The irony is with that, I actually think that the finish either way is quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Given the style. Yeah.
So let's say if, the danger for both Matt and Hermes, this is like one of those reputation high risk match, isn't it? Because you have a situation where whoever gets the bite, he'll finish the other dude, and he's going to do it quick.
My worry is that it'll go out on fouls.
This much more, it's going to be boom, 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 done. And if Matt's got this much more, boom, 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 done.
I'm with you, Ryan. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm worried that if it is in the PAL or those strict rules, that given the nature of the styles, it's going to be conducive to elbows popping up, and we might just see lots of rounds go to fouls, and I'd hate to see that.
Oh, God,
yeah,
I'd hate that.
Wouldn't it be
that pissed me off.
But that's kind of the way two guys like that, with lots of back pressure, lots of pronation, lots of commitment to hits. Elbows pop up all the time with that sort of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Now, the next one that we had, sorry lads, I'm not going to name your names because there's about 8 of you, all came with the same question. In fact, we had 2 arm wrestlers that got so much questioning around. The first one, Ongabayev. It was Hermes Gasparini. How would he do with Ongabayev? Now, one of the guys in there, and I can't remember which one it was, but he said, and another guy actually commented on the show that said, I wish I had the comments in front of me, I'd look back, but he said, Hermes is not an Eva Quintaris level top roller. I would actually disagree with that. I think Hermes is just as dangerous as Taras in a top roll.
Yeah.
He's got more explosivity. They're different in styles. They're different stylistic arm wrestlers, but he's just as dangerous. He's in some instances potentially slightly more dangerous because of that explosivity off the start. Very, very, very powerful lad. And what do you think, guys? Ongabayev and Hermes. I'm going to go with Hermes.
I tend to agree. What's Ongabayev weighing right now? Like current? Do we know?
I don't know, but I would have thought somewhere just above the 100 kilo mark.
He's above 100?
I believe so.
500, yeah. I guess something like that. Yeah, not a lot.
He's not going to be dissimilar to Hermes, is he? He's not going to be, stat-wise, he's not going to be much bigger, much smaller. I think what people are driving at is he's known as the top roller, isn't he? He's known as that acid back pressure puller. And it's whether that would cause Hermes problems.
I think he stylistically, his arm is going to be a little bit longer than Hermes, a little bit taller guy, I think. Probably his hand is probably maybe a touch longer. I'm just making assumptions here, just given that he's taller. So stylistically, for me personally, I always prefer to be the slightly taller guy if it's top roll v top roll. But Hermes has proven, like we just saw him with the Latin, he didn't have a drama with another tall top roller. So I think Hermes would probably get the job done.
Yeah. I mean, Kigali's obviously he's known as having that massive back pressure, and he's very good off the defensive. So he'll pull off the counter. And you would imagine that would probably give Hermes a lot to think about in terms of the start. You know, he's potentially not going to be as comfortable revving up hard and blasting into somebody like Kigali, because if Ongobayev puts the brakes on you, he's very, very good from there, and he's an effective finisher. So, depending on the level of pronation he can achieve in the setup, I think that would probably make Hermes a little more nervous, because Hermes likes to sort of feel the match in his hand. You can see that on the setup. He's not like a dead load guy. He's not Daniel Mosier. He likes to feel, he obviously is confident in his strength. Yeah. And he puts it in there and then explodes. And it's just how much, I don't know whether, Kigali would be tricky enough to slow him down there. I don't know. Very interesting one. I think it's potentially a good match, actually.
Yeah.
As a result of that.
For me, I think Hermes sits somewhere between rank 7 and 12 in the overall list. I think that's the little zone for me where I put him. I think he's right there amongst the Ongobayevs, the Trubins, the Prudniks.
I'd like to see him in some live competition now and see where, get a bead on him. Because as you say, a lot of his competition in the past, he's been in that 95 kilo region. If you've put on that much size and you've gone up to like 115, it is conceivable that you are significantly stronger. So I'm not sure whether the Matt Mask match actually tells me much there, because of the manner in which I expect that match to go down. It's going to be quick win, quick loss. And I mean that, let's say, for example, if Matt Mask went over there and he beat Hermes, that doesn't necessarily devalue Hermes' threat for me, because it's the weirdo factor in Matt being so long and so awkward and so tall. A match I loved that I tried to put on, actually, it was the original match, was going to be Hermes and Marcio. And that's a match I loved. I thought that was very, very interesting, because Marcio at that time was really on a hot streak of form. The time he beat Krasi, that would have been very interesting. Very interesting. And that takes me on to the next one. And I'm pretty sure we'll get some controversial answers right now. Hermes Gasparini, Todd Hutchins, current version, Big Todd. I know Todd pull Matt Mask and did put the brakes on him, but Hermes is different.
I think Hermes, if he can finish fast, and that's always been problem for Hutchins when someone is very, very fast.
But
if it's let's say 6 rounds, the later rounds I think at some point you will put brakes on him. And Todd's gonna defend.
I'm gonna go out straight off the bat and say this is another match that I've already proposed to WAL, and I love that match.
Yeah, it will be a war regardless.
I love it.
I'm worried for Todd that he doesn't get the stop.
Yeah, I am. But I'm also worried for Hermes if he does.
He'll get the stop.
You know what I'm saying?
He'll get the stop. I think he'll get the stop in WAL. I think like if it was once again coming back to rule set, I think that in WAL Todd is able to manipulate the setup enough with the strap to get the stop. Probably early. Yeah. I don't now if it's like
if he can.
Yeah.
Has he got enough grunt? Which you rarely say about Todd, because he's usually got enough grunt to do pretty much anything he wants. Headline's not a problem.
Yeah,
can you imagine Hermes at the back of that 9-inch pad dug up?
I can't imagine.
God, that'll take some moving.
Yeah, I can't see Hermes losing from there. It'd be phenomenal. It would be a phenomenal superhuman effort for Todd to outlast Hermes if Hermes is like that. That would be crazy.
Yeah, he's got to get the stop between 10 and 2. It can't be like way down there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Does anybody else love that match? Though I friggin' love
That's
that.
Awesome.
I feel like I have to go Hermes.
Big Todd against Hermes now.
If you look at the way Todd did that to Matt Mask, I feel like Todd was able to disengage Matt Mask more than he would be able to disengage Hermes because of how tall Matt Mask is. Coming down so far from Matt Mask, his pronation was more susceptible to being taken away, and therefore he wasn't able to match up with the defensive with the defensive back pressure load or with sufficient side pressure to handle Todd. But I think Hermes being the more compact arm compared to Matt Mask, I think Hermes will still have defensive back pressure well and truly accessible. And so I don't think that Todd will just be able to disengage and drive sideways like he did against Matt Mask. So
but the weird thing is, we've seen Todd do that with guys that have unbelievable speed and arm strength like Marcio.
Yeah. Marcio, and that's what, you know what, the Matt Mask match was the last time that I picked against Todd. And the Marcio match, I was doubting him too, kind of, because just watching him practice with Marcio. Ever since those matches, I don't pick against that guy, like, ever, against anyone. And really, the Marcio comparison to Hermes is pretty sound.
Yes, that's how I see it. It's that X factor, because I think me and you are on the same page here, mate. There's a lot of parallels there, isn't there?
A lot. And like lever length, like Marcio's might even be shorter than Hermes, but the speed, the setup, where Marcio posts his wrist, to me, that's the difference between Matt Mask, and why I picked against Todd is because he is so proficient in a full dumped low hand. And in my mind, I'm thinking, even if Todd, when I'm assessing that match however many years ago, I'm thinking, okay, there is no way that Todd is going to get bone to bone on this guy. He's going to have to be fully flopped and blah, blah, blah. And then to watch Todd pseudo protect his hand, even against that low hand, obviously he's pulling with it back a little bit, but to get the strap bite that he did, in the Matt Mask match, it just made me no longer really question him against anybody who puts their knuckle down at all.
Yeah, because Todd's angle is not. It's not like a presser. It's not Jerry Cadorette.
No.
Not this. It's your wrist and hand can go, but he's coming back.
Yeah.
And across. He's coming.
Yeah,
so you're getting opened up. If you gun it and your arm strength isn't there, if your integrity isn't there, he will put the brakes on.
He has rotation with his wrist back.
Yes.
He is still rotating through the strap.
Yeah.
Yes,
such a weird feeling. Yeah, from practicing with Todd and getting him to that side and then feel him just kind of drive up with his bicep and rotate down through the strap is just a different type of feeling.
Yeah. I remember one's classic line where I was speaking to Frode Hogeland about one of his matches with Nanastad at the time. And he was talking. We were in the bar at night. I can't remember. One of the lads asked him. They said, I can't believe you go for that match with someone like Nicholas in that style. The balls it takes to attack like that." And Frode just really matter of factly went, "No, mate, you don't understand. That was a top roll. My wrist was just fucked." So what happened? And this guy said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I was trying to top roll, but his wrist and hand was better, so mine flopped." He said, "But that don't mean it's over, right?" So basically, he's gone for a top roll, lost his wrist and hand completely, just keeps top rolling.
Yeah. Isn't that just like a smaller? It's like a smaller comparison of Matt Mask and Todd Hutchings. Like they're almost like the same opposite people.
Yeah. And it's led to some, oh my God.
Yeah.
Unbelievable match. It's just crazy. But Hermes and Todd Hutchings, God, I love that match.
There's no way that one's not a war, though. There's no way it's not a war. There's no way that's one.
It's one of those, if it's
unless
not
it's flashpin. It's the only way.
Ridiculous, isn't it? It's just weird. Now, the last but not least that we got a ton of questions. Hopefully that answers everybody's questions, guys, who have sent in those questions about Hermes and how he goes with different guys. Two more on the list. The next one, and I know this is going to get silly. Hermes Gasparini, Devon Larratt. And I'm going to let Ray go.
I don't want him.
And I'm going to let Ryan go.
Don't worry, if you need someone to put their foot in it and cause some controversy on me, man. I think that Hermes has a real chance against Devon. I think stylistically Devon's a slow initiator, and if again in the rule sets where we are is a big factor. If it's WAL, I would think Devon will get enough initiation to probably get the brakes on. But if it's a crisp start for the PAL thing, then it's going to be pretty tricky. I think the explosiveness of Hermes would potentially get it done. I think that the match would be similar, almost similar shape to John Brzenk against Devon Larratt, back in 2015 or whatever it was. I could see Hermes pulling Devon that same kind of way that John did, and Devon just not being able to get where he needs to. I think if it's in the strap and Devon loads up and sucks down those lats and gets the cup involved, then yeah, it's done. But I think out of straps explosively as well, there's danger for Devon.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm actually the opposite. I got Devon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think Devon's too tricky in the starts. I think Devon's got weaponry at his disposal, and he's pronator heavy. And you know the kind of scenario I was talking about with Kigali? I think Devon can do that same exact thing in the setups. I've seen him do it with Marcio, and I'm making that parallel again with a guy who's got the lever length, the explosivity, and what it does to their confidence in that hit. And I just think that Devon's got Hermes is always a threat. He's a threat to anybody. If Hermes has the balls and the confidence to actually go more through the arm and deviate from his normal style of hit, then it actually would probably work well, because I think his wrist integrity is first class. So if he went through and got it more onto the arm, he may then, from putting Devon on the B side, he may be able to literally just reverse him from there. That's a real possibility. But I got Devon because I think Devon's well-roundedness. Devon would transition, and even if it didn't work for him this first time, I also do believe that Devon's the I'll break my arm to win guy. I think he'll hit in there and he'll, as he always says, test your frame. And I don't believe the man has got any concerns. He's got courage under fire in any way, shape or form. He's scared of calls. And I genuinely believe that Devon would test his frame. And I think he's got quite a frame to test. And I genuinely feel like Devon wins that match.
Devon has more advantages, like experience-wise, technique-wise, everything.
Never ceases to amaze me that people seem to have written him off to some extent.
Yeah. I know.
You need to be levels beyond him. Level beyond him for him not to find a cheek in your armor. That's my opinion. So, doesn't matter who Devon's having super match, you have to pick healthy, strong Devon. You know, even if he loses, he's still, better choice for winning, because he can find that way, he can maneuver and find that way to win. And I think, he has, right now, Hermes needs to be level beyond him.
I think, I agree with just about everything both you guys said, but I just think stylistically that's not a great match for Devon. From the perception wise, obviously Devon is going to go harder, against a guy like, Michael Todd, which that match is already, so we don't know what type of shape Devon's in right now. You can only assume that he's going to come in ready for Michael. But when we watch what Hermes did against Michael, and now everybody's, has kind of jumped on the bandwagon of calling Devon a King's mover. And I don't think that's definitely not the case. But I actually think that is a major tool in his arsenal right now. And I think that is that tool in his arsenal. If he is forced to go there, that Hermes can beat him there. Just from watching how he pulled Michael Todd, I almost think that's another tool that Devon has started to rely on a little bit that he might not have against Hermes. So, I do think it comes down to rule set and what state is Devon in. It's really up to Devon. as to whether he wins or loses it. But like looking at like stylistically, like a guy that I think has tools that could beat Devin, or at least some of Devin's tools, I think Hermes is dangerous dude. Plus, he's the young wolf. He's hungry. And how serious is Devin going to take it? If he's thinking about,
Don't know.
That's the interesting part, I think. Those are some X factors.
I think that Devon's got that inner warrior spirit, though, that to a level that few men have.
Stubbornness,
just absolute genuine fighter. You can spot it in a man, and he genuinely's got it. He's got nothing to prove. You can see it. It's in their eyes, and he just has. He's got it. He's a genuine fighter, and I believe that he'd turn it into a fight, turn it into a dogfight from the moment their elbows hit the pad, through the setups, through, and I think he could potentially frustrate Hermes a little bit.
If Hermes was frustrated. If Hermes was frustrated by the Matt Mask experience, it's going to be that and more from the Devin experience.
That's a good point.
And Devin, I've come back to it many times. I didn't call him No Limits for nothing. Guy's got so many options. And going back to what Ray said, and also just picking up on what you said then, Paul, the fact that people have categorised him now as a King's mover. And I don't think he necessarily is in that match. And I go with what Ray was saying there. He's got more advantages. He's got more options. And I think in that match, it'd be one of those where he could come away from the King's move to some extent, just use some pronation in the setup, but then go back to orthodox pulling. And which we talked about a couple of shows ago, whether or not the Michael Todd match is that day, whether or not, if Devin can maintain centre, Devin is a threat to Michael Todd.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Even the stronger version of Michael. When I've spoken to Michael over years, I see very much what you were saying, Paul. Styles do make matches, and Devin is a dangerous match for Michael for a number of reasons, not least of which he's got so many options, and so much bravery and versatility in the match to try different stuff. But if he can hold centre, if the strength gap is close, which I'm actually not sure it can be, it depends where Devin's at, and like you say, we really don't know. I'm just very concerned that after having DVT, that he hasn't lost a lot of physical power. But if the strength gap is close, I think that could be a lot better match than people are expecting.
Right. Well, that really is the X factor. Is where's Devin really at after that?
That worries me greatly. Because that's no joke. You've had blood clots to that. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll see, won't we? It's only in, what is it now? 8 weeks away or something? No, 8 weeks away. 7-8 weeks away. It's not great. Anyway. We shall see. Okay, last one, guys. Who do you think people have questioned? Who do you think people want to know how Hermes would go with him?
Levan.
No. Didn't get one.
They're going all the way.
It's Prudnik.
Ooh.
Well, Hermes and Prudnik have pulled historically, haven't they? Haven't they met in European finals?
Historically, but he's never met Super Prudnik.
Yeah.
The dude that was in top 8. That was a big, dangerous motherfucker.
They're both the super versions of themselves at the moment. So I feel like Prudnik has one step ahead in terms of options. Again, like we just talked about with Devin, I think Prudnik has a couple more alternative positions that he can employ to just layer some fatigue onto Hermes' main attack. And if it's a super match, I think that I would have Prudnik as the more likely favourite to get that in the long run. In a 1-round match, I think I'd probably go the other way. I probably feel more towards Hermes because he's got more of a strike weapon if needed. But I think super match, I'll get Prudnik.
Paul, have you got?
I feel like we said, if it is the super Prudnik, the one from top 8, I it's hard to pick against him. That version, that huge version. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I guess it really depends on how far Hermes has come. I would if I had to bet money on it, I'd bet on Prudnik.
Ray.
Yeah, Prudnik. Super Prudnik. One Prudnik to roll the ball.
Super Saiyan Prudnik.
Yeah, because looking at Ongarbayev match, Ongarbayev is quite similar to Hermes. You know, he can top roll, he can hook. Like, he could do nothing in hook versus Prudnik.
I think the only thing that probably Kigali hasn't got in the same degree of Hermes is the explosive gene. I don't think he's quite as bullet quick off the start.
He's different kind of explosive. He pulls back with his arm. I think Hermes explodes more with the hand and pronator. He's like here already, and Ongarbayev is
integrity, more wrist focused top, rather than pronator back.
It's a tough match, of course, but I would go with Prudnik is so well rounded. You know, he has everything. And again, he's so experienced. He can find ways. He knows in a long match, like how he put together in a match with Ongarbayev, who was very dangerous, you know. That's, Super Prudnik.
Everybody gone for Super Prudnik. I actually tend to agree. I see, Revden Reddy, Evgeny Prudnik as a very special individual. I think he's got massive potential. He takes some beating from a lot of guys. He's right in the mix. I think he's improving and he's right in the mix. Now then, 40 minutes in, and I better start this topic now. Another question that we got, multiple question. Guys, I would like to know, how good is Travis Bajan really? I watch The Fix and I watch Arm TV's Beauty and the Beast show, in which Travis regularly claims that he is the true king. You guys know Travis well. What are your opinions on Travis? If he was to make a comeback and was focused, where would Travis sit in today's elite arm wrestlers? And we have had, that was basically, I'm reading that off the phone here, but we have had basically that same question 20 times. How good is Travis Bajan? Who wants to go?
I mean, go ahead.
We
needed an awkward pause there. Travis is as good as he wants to be and as good as he wants to commit to being. But he's also self-admittedly lazy. And I can tell you that, you know, I've gotten to pull with Travis quite a bit. We're only about less than 2 hours away from each other. He includes me in a lot of his things that he's got going on, from, you know, events to seminars and things of that nature.
Are you going to Waxahachie, mate? Are you going to go for that?
I had the offer. I can't do it with what's going on in my life. I'm selling my house and buying it. I'm like, my life's in a whirlwind right now. So no. I may go to the next one. We'll see. Anyway, Travis is the versions of Travis, depending on what he's doing. And I've never felt the Super Travis, the Super Saiyan Travis. The real one. The best version that I've felt was when he was preparing to go to Moldova. He was motivated for that. He was motivated to send a message to the people of Moldova that he should be coming back there all the time, and he was the man. And that's kind of how he put it. So at that point in time, that was the best version that I had felt of him. And I know sometimes in Scottsdale too, when he was going to do the Scottsdale stuff, he's gotten to a pretty good form for that. But the versions, I think, of Travis that were at the best I've never felt. And I can say that even at the top form that I've felt, he is very, very relevant. And if he's motivated, everybody has different motivations in life. Travis's is clearly money. And if the money is there, this guy is top 3 in a matter of 8 weeks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think he's the one. I mean, he's been pulling 25 years, 30 years, whatever it is.
Long time.
So once you've got that degree of conditioning in your elbow and that degree of time at the elite level of sport, you can have time off and not be seen as active and still immediately step back in and have all of that. And Travis is still in that zone for me. I think that the tool sets that he brings, I actually rate him as the best arm wrestler in the world when it comes to winning the manipulations of a setup.
Yep.
Winning the conditions of a start. So that is always going to be a dangerous tool for anyone who faces him. And the fact that all that Travis needs to do to get back to that point of being super competitive is just wake up a little bit of strength conditioning, and Travis will do that, as you said, if the money's on the line. I would hate to be betting against Travis if there's money on the line. Like, I just hate it. I think that, yeah, I agree. Top three left and right arm for me if the money was there.
Yeah.
Yep. When was the last time we saw good Travis? 2017?
2018 was it Moldova?
Not 17. 16.
No. 16.
16 against Chase.
He beat Chase.
5 years ago. 5 years ago. You cannot sit on 5 years ago without real competition. The longer you are out, more difficult it becomes to understand the level. Everyone's still, climbing to the top. And it's like he did really good on that WL tournament, and that was it. In Moldova, he faced Svetko. Good. Yeah. With what? Right? No. Left arm. Left arm. Yeah, Svetko just had surgery. He wasn't even, prepared for that. So I don't know how good Travis was on that day. Of course, you put money online, but like, I'm sorry guys, but I'm a big believer in people who keep proving that they are strong on table. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It really depends on what you can do today. We can speculate everything, but you have to show something. You really have to show something. You have to compete at least with someone who is high caliber. This is why it's so hard for me to pick where Rob is at. Yeah, he's strong, but I'm like, if I have to compare to competition he is facing right now, I cannot even put him at top 10, to be honest.
That's a difficult one though, isn't it? That the Rob, we don't want to get off topic.
But still,
that's a difficult one because I think a lot of people outside North America don't necessarily rate the competition that Rob is beating, but don't actually know about him. But it's almost the same way.
You show it. You show it. We have competitions. You go to competitions. You show that you're the man. I know Travis been in this so long time ago. If he can still come back, and if there's money online, and he can still come back and compete, that's awesome. That's really impressive but it's just talk, It's just talk, in my opinion. Show it to me. I don't really care. It's not that I'm saying something against Travis. It's against anyone who's not competing and still saying they can beat this guy or that guy or these guys. Like, I could have beaten him. We practice. Don't care about your practice. Yeah. Go to competition and beat someone in competition.
The good thing is, Travis himself doesn't go out there and say, I'll take that back. Travis does clearly say he's the best arm wrestler in the world, but he does that for just simply promotional sake. He's not actually saying.
Yeah.
And so I spoke to Travis literally today, and it was kind of about this. I was like asking him, it was about this Michael Todd thing that he was doing, and I said to him, are you still interested in being a badass arm wrestler? I said, if the money was there, and I know you're motivated by money, asked him, I said, if your YouTube channel was earning more than Arm Wrestling TV's was, and it meant that you had to go around and arm wrestle and be a badass again, are you interested in that? And he said, no, look, to be honest, I'm having more fun and making more money doing the promoter thing than I am doing the arm wrestling thing. But that said, if the money was there, yeah, of course I could and I would. So he still believes in himself at the end of the day, but he doesn't, but he's very quick to say that he has nothing left to prove and he doesn't care for anyone who says that anything otherwise. So yeah, it is just money, but that's the only reason that Travis will ever turn up again. I don't know.
I'm like, I understand that. I'm really like, he really has nothing to prove. you know.
Yeah.
But to bring in, again, guy kind of admits to says like, I'm not really interested in that. And we bringing into him in every competition. It's like saying like guys that bring in, Larat 2008 in every conversation. Like, that's not reality anymore. Or Tsiplenko 2018. That's not reality anymore.
Bavolder 04.
Yeah.
Boy, what the 4-4? But, I'm like, so what? It's same thing as these hypothetical matchups. Like, every answer to all of them is, we don't know. And we will never know. Because they didn't happen. I'm like, in what reality are you living in?
From a promoter's perspective or, interesting modern matches, it's kind of ridiculous. It's like, I'll just pick up the phone to Lupkus 87 and Goodridge 93. I'll be right back to you. You can't recreate it.
I think we get these questions in the comments largely because of the way Travis talks. Like, I mean, first off, he is going to tell you at any given time that he's the greatest person at anything, that whatever you're talking about. If you talk about pool or whatever, and he's a good pool player, he's going to tell you he's the best, whether he believes it or not. Also, there's a strong possibility that he'll contradict himself 3 times in one sentence. So,
which is wonderful. And he is as funny as fuck.
His charisma
unbelievably
is
charismatic.
Unbelievable, but people get caught up in what he's saying. Rather than the reality of it. Now, the comparison to Rob is interesting too, but I think the difference in the comparison with Travis to Rob is Travis has already been like beating Europeans and been at the top. Rob, when we compare it to Rob, we haven't seen Rob's best version yet, in my opinion. Whereas we may have seen Travis's, and his best version may be behind him. I think that is a possibility. Now, the other thing that I do think, once again, we're back to hypotheticals, but I think some of the factors that make Travis relevant internationally is coming back to the setup manipulation. The way Travis trains, his unique style of training, and his ability to manipulate the setup and the strap. And I think that a sub 100% Travis, like if we had the best version of him, let's say we're not going to get back to the best version of him, but we get back to 90%. I think those outside factors, his ability to kind of manipulate, does make him relevant if he puts his mind to it. But once again, it's all hypothetical. I think that he does have kind of a silver bullet approach for some of the Eastern folks. I think that he, manipulation-wise, can create serious problems for guys who have not grabbed him. But is he ever going to be the strongest? He'll tell you he is, but I don't think we'll ever see that.
He's the greatest talker, self-promoter in arm wrestling. Hands down.
People used to say to me, why, so much problem with Travis. Why would you use Travis ever again? Travis was involved in the worst arm wrestling match in my entire career. And Travis will tell you a very different story to every other mother who's in the room. And Travis's version's really entertaining.
Well, the story he told me, I was totally, or not the story he told me, when I listened to on his end, I was totally convinced. I was like, who's this terrible ass ref?
Well, he totally is convincing. Travis will literally sit on the shore of Loch Ness and tell you that the monster exists, and you fucking drive home thinking, it probably does. And you're being entertained by what he said. But make no mistake about it, Travis is unbelievably convincing, but he's also, at his best, unbelievably good. Now, Travis's matches were not usually entertaining. There's been, very, very few matches in Travis Bajan's career which were entertaining. He'd have to dine out off the stand-up rich clip for a lot of years. So you say, okay, I've seen that one, now show me another match that Travis is in that's entertaining. And why it's so difficult is because Travis was so good. And Travis's style was around going, taking the money. In fact, the longest thing that Travis was involved in on the entire weekend of competition was putting the money in his wallet. Because the actual winning of it didn't take long. It was done. But make no mistake about it, there's a distinction to make between Travis Bajan. Travis Bajan right arm and Travis Bajan left arm are very different. Right arm, Travis is upper echelon elite arm wrestler. On his best day, one of the best and most dangerous arm wrestlers out there, but you would not categorise, or I would not categorise as ever the best. Left arm, he could conceivably be the very best super heavyweight arm wrestler of all time. I'm not sure that the best version of Travis on the left arm anybody can beat. I don't know. Because he usually won at a canter, and he usually won with such ease. As I say, the reason you'd have him in tournaments and the reason you'd promote him was because the interviews prior to the event and after the event were golden.
Yeah.
Because he's a naturally charismatic, funny giant. He can say stuff just on the lead up to a story he's going to tell you about somebody, and you'll be laughing before he's even got to the story. I remember I was watching an episode of Beauty and the Beast, and all he did was go, Leonard and Denise, and I was pissing myself silly. You know, he hadn't even told the story, but just the fact that he said it in the way he did was funny, you know. Now, some people, he's also unbelievably polarizing. Some people love Travis. They think he's amazing, and that army of people that love Travis will argue that Travis could climb the wall of the Empire State Building using only his lips. And Travis will stand there and tell you he definitely can do that. But regardless of all that, he's created this myth and legend about him and blows it up so big that there's the other side of that coin that hate Travis that'll say, Travis wasn't that good. Neither one of those extremes is true. Travis was really, really, really good. If that guy that was in the room that day when he beat Dave Chaffee and demolished everybody on the left arm, but he beat Dave Chaffee on the right arm, let me tell you, that man, that day, was exceptionally good. And would have been, if you'd have put him in the realms of all time greatest super heavyweights, he'd have been in that conversation. And very much like we said with an arm wrestler like Hermes, who has that X factor danger. In other words, if he hits you on the chin, you will go to sleep. Travis always packed that. Always. Whenever he showed up at an event, he has the capability to beat anyone on his day. That's what you can really encapsulate around Travis. He may not be the very best of all time, but he might just beat that motherfucker on the right day. And he'll definitely sound good talking about it. And most people will be literally pissing themselves a little bit in some of the comments that he makes up on the way to the match and after the match. Super entertaining. And arm wrestling is a better sport. Yeah. Because of Travis Bagent and because of Travis Bagent's involvement. I love that Travis Bagent is an arm wrestler.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I kind of wish that he would embrace and have a little bit more patience with earnings on YouTube, because I think his channel could be so freaking good if he did it. Anyway, at some point
it's going to come together. And at some point it'll come to... I'd try and help Travis. I'd love to see Travis make mega. Because one of the things that I put higher than most things in life, okay, is Travis is a real family man, all right? There's Travis Bagent, there's the persona of Travis Bagent, and there's the real Travis Bagent. Reality, okay? And I had an interview on here the other week, all right, with Kevin Robertson. Kevin Robertson, people may know Kevin Robertson, may not know Kevin Robertson, right? And after we do the show, I'm going on to Kevin's social media and I'm going to get a picture that I'm going to use in the thumbnail for Kevin Robertson. That's how I do it, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm trying to pull together this thing. And I look through some of his Facebook pictures, and Kevin Robertson's entire profile is just Kevin and his kids. It's focused on his kids. It's everything's his kids. It's hard to find a good picture of Kevin because Kevin's not really focused on him. He's not the guy that's got loads of shots of him. He's got loads of pictures. You can see 110% that Kevin Robertson's whole life is about his kids. And that tells me everything I need to know about Kevin Robertson. I can love him. He's ace. And all those qualities, when you speak to Kevin, you get that. And I am a massive Kevin Robertson fan. Now, Travis, you might not think that Travis is Kevin Robertson, but he is.
Yeah.
He loves his kids. He's living vicariously through them. He loves them. They're killing it too. And I tell you what, he is producing savage kids.
Savage kids. And
elite.
For that alone, I salute Travis Bajan big time, because I value that high in a man. And whether you look, Travis is a product of his environment. He's a product of but he's a successful product of his environment. And what he's done with his kids. I mean, you look around the man. His wife is like a beautiful woman. His kids are fucking just ridiculous. I think they're both like going to go on to be professional athletes, both his sons. Yeah. Pretty sure that I saw somebody on the Tyson, obviously, there now. Tyson, 19, 20 years old, what he is.
Yeah.
And Ezra, younger kid. What's Ezra? 15 or something. I don't know what he is.
Not
exactly.
even, I don't think. Not even.
Young teenager, but he's already a friggin' well-rounded athlete.
Mm-hmm. He works the hell out of them too. In that low CrossFit gym he got, man, he works them kids out. And he does it for other kids too. It's not just his kids. He has his own sessions. It's good stuff. If you don't know the guy, he's good. I mean, he's a good person. Period.
The value that he has imparted into those kids and the human beings that he has made those kids become, that's where that guy behind the guy is more valuable, in my opinion, than the guy you see on Beauty and the Beast, who is also really valuable and really funny. Sometimes a dick.
Yeah.
But, Nick, things that go on like that when Travis says stuff like that, Travis is banter, he'll say stuff, he's bullet direct and he'll say something. And if you choose to get pissy about that, that's your problem. He says stuff about me on and off. I couldn't give a about that. I'll say stuff about him. It's sort of water off the duck's back. What do I think of Travis? I think he's one of the best super heavyweight arm wrestlers of all time. If he's capable of showing up like he used to show up, fasten up your chin straps, because somebody's getting hit.
And that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Will we ever see it?
He's probably got, 5 more years as a window? And
I don't know.
If he doesn't pull it, if he doesn't do it, then it'll fade. But yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head a minute ago, mate, because in terms of could be an entity on YouTube, could be entertaining, could have followers. Holy living God.
He's not going to do it.
Because 99.9% of the stuff that the people on YouTube want to see isn't the match.
Yeah, it's the personality, the story, it's the opinion.
So, here's why Travis is not going to do that, okay? Like, his YouTube channel could be whatever he wants it to be. His general fame, notoriety could be whatever he wants it to be. But Travis is not focused for durations, just like he's not focused for durations on training. He is a sprinter, not a marathon runner. He is not a builder. He's not going to slow build this YouTube thing. He's going to try and hit it real hard for a month, and then he's going to lose interest. You know what I mean? And so has really gone his arm wrestling career and his focus in training. He's
Michelangelo, isn't it? He might not paint that many garage roofs, but when he shows up and did the 16 channel, a couple of people are standing back and going, "Say what, Michael? Not bad roof."
Yeah. No, you can get him going. Like, you can get him going on YouTube. Like, if I called him up, say, "Hey, Travis, let's go down and do some YouTube content or whatever." They'd be like, "All right, I gotta give you a day." You know what I mean? But then he'll want me to upload everything and do everything. He don't want to do the stuff that it takes. And I kind of identify with it too, because it is a pain, and Ryan, I don't know how you do as much as you do. But I don't see him doing it. Travis is like a cash grab. Like, all right, I got this event, it's going to go, I'm going to make 20 grand, boom.
He's short term, not long term.
Yeah.
He's short, and I think it, because something might never happen.
But that's what when he's talking about enjoying the promoting, I don't know how he does that, because he works so hard for those short periods of time. But I think that he genuinely enjoys making his month's worth of money on one day. Yeah. I think that's just how he's hardwired.
Yeah, he loves the hustle, the grind of his style of business. And he lives for that thrill. I think that's the adrenaline rush for him. So
extremely intelligent individual.
Yes.
Extremely intelligent individual. I mean, a lot of his ethos in arm wrestling is almost identical to mine. Almost identical. It's like focus on the things that are real in an arm wrestling match. I mean, we're not going to get into it in this episode, but the all arm PR thing, and we've spoke about it before. You know, they're doing the lifts. The carryover to it's great to focus on. It's good fun. Is it really? You know, would I be going into my working week when I have no time? If I was getting back into I would not be doing much of that. I will be doing very little of that. So, you know, it's what pays out, and we've hopefully answered your questions out there, guys. I say if you don't feel like we have, please let us know. Sorry, Paul.
Can I bring one topic up? Just because I'm asking you guys because I don't know. So there was some super matches that happened in New York in Gene Camp's old setup, New York Arm Wrestling, whatever. Jake Aries is running it now, I think. So it was like that old school tournament style that they had, but they had some super matches. And New York is a hotbed now for Georgian arm wrestlers. So there was a couple of our lightweight guys that faced a couple of their lightweight guys that I don't know a whole lot about. Ray, I don't know if have you seen this?
I saw
it, yeah.
So Imeda, what's the
Imeda?
Yeah.
Imeda, he's I think 55, 60 kilo world champ. I don't know how many times, but he has been world champ. He was facing Sam Pocher. Like Sam is 70 kilo guy, and he's not weak. Imeda won, but it wasn't easy. You know,
he worked. I was very surprised.
Yeah,
their second match was a screamer.
Yeah, like Imeda has gone up. Like he's a small dude. He's like really 60 kilo puller.
Right.
And one time he went up in Zloty Tour, like the year 2018, he went up to 70, and he lost, like badly lost. So, like that 10 kilo, especially from 60, makes a huge difference. You know, Sam is strong as well. Yeah, Sam is 70 and he was 60. I don't know how big he was. I don't know.
Taking it, Sam was trying to hook.
Kinda, but it was against a hard dumped wrist. But Sam had a decent strap set up. It was a hard dumped wrist and a fight just in the middle of the table.
It was a good effort. It was
a really good match.
Yeah. Zaza just ran through his opponent.
Zaza's high level.
Right. Yeah. So I kind of saw like there was false starts and I think Zach fouled out on the first setup. I don't think that he had anything for him. He flashed him, but I think, you know, after talking to Zach when they got on the side table and like slow pulled, different animal, but the speed was just unbelievable.
Yeah. I saw it's explosive, just very explosive. You know, he's got poke.
Yeah.
In 2018, he eliminated Vlad in World Championship in 80 kilo class. 2018 or 19. I don't remember which one. In Turkey, 2018. So I
think he's originally from Brisbane.
Most likely. Yeah, but he's very, very aggressive, fast start. I saw the comments Tim Bresnan made on Engin's page about it. He said he doesn't want to referee him anymore. Even Zaza tried to enter amateur class. That from comments, that's what I wrote. That's what I read. So he's very high on table.
Zaza tried to enter the amateurs. No way. Get off.
Wait, what did Tim say? What was he saying?
Tim said that he's like because Engin asked like how did this went, and Gennadi's channel had the videos and they posted the videos, but I couldn't find it anymore. I saw it just, and Tim was like, I don't want to referee that guy any like never. Like he was complaining even
saw the complaining.
Yeah,
well, and I think that's why Zach walked away with like a bittersweet taste. Like he didn't feel like he'd get to arm wrestle him because you know when he had a decent setup, there was complaining and then fouls. But I think 2 matches were won on fouls.
Yeah, Zaza is a world level 80 kilo guy. I just don't know how much training he has done in the past year, because I believe he lives in New York right now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Georgians in New York. A bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
New York and Washington, D.C.
George Ashfield used to live over there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And what the hell happened to him? He was king of arms for years. He's a bad man, mate, let me tell you. Very strong. I don't know if he's still out there, but
I haven't seen or heard from him since I've been back to arm wrestling, but I'm familiar with him from talking to Morocco. But I think he's still around.
Very powerful lad back in the day. But yeah, Zaza, I'm excited Zaza's over in the States because a lot of...
Right. I wish I could have made it. It was a Sunday tournament and I couldn't make it. I had football obligations and everything, but I wanted to just go and feel everybody. You know what I mean? What I have kind of noticed, and I worked a lot with Goga, and those guys they all competed together on the team over there and everything. And what I have noticed, it seems like, and some of the other Georgians that I worked with, Lasha Durvelli and all the different guys that are up here, they struggle with the strap setup. And I don't know. I really wanted to grab somebody of that caliber and see, you know what I mean, from the European style, just from the learning aspect, But I know Goga is unbelievable outside of the strap. But, when you put the strap on them, we're able to do different things.
It's like that European mentality, especially from those. We want to win fast. We don't care. Yeah. We want to win fast. We don't care about,
not a big rally follow.
You just want to win fast because it's a tournament. Everyone's dangerous. You don't want to get in those long matches. And sometimes guys who has that good stopping power, they don't do good in tournaments. They don't become world champs. Even though they had a war with the number 1, number 3 guy, they just couldn't make it because, every match is a war.
Yeah, you got to put people to bed.
Yeah.
Took them in.
Fast.
But yeah, there's a lot of matches over there, mate, and we got to think about that for October. If you're going to be on the card at the Arm Wars event, who we match you with there, because there's a lot of opportunities. There's some great ballers. I can think of so many that would match up well with you, So that'd be what weight and what we do. But ladies and gents, we're at 1 hour and 10 minutes at least in this show. We dragged on a little bit, but. Hopefully we answered some of the channel questions again, guys, and gave you a bit of insight on some of the stuff you've been writing to us. And sorry, I know that some of those questions haven't featured in earlier episodes, and I had said to the people that I would answer them. So hopefully we've knocked a few of those over today. I want to say a massive thanks to all my co-hosts, as always, Raymond Liepins and Ryan Blue Bowen, as well as and alongside the White Oak Paul Linn. Remember, guys, this show brought to you by Western Survivor Beef Jerky, the best beef jerky in the world, in association with NatFit UK. Get on there, check out their products also at natfituk.co.uk. And until we see you next time here on The Fix, take it easy, peeps.
What grabs your eyes on that, if anything?